Oh, this is so tragic. And we hear about all kinds of stories like this in the news. I unfortunately have personal experience with this as well. So I'm going to give my personal insight into why the guards acted the way they did on this one. It's horrible. And it happens a lot more than you think, but inmates in prison, a lot of them, well, they don't really have a voice. Some of them don't have any family to speak for them. Some are, well, the majority are poor. They have no way to, if something happens, for anybody to even find out anything. You would be shocked if you knew exactly how much things like this go on. I have personally seen it within the prison system on numerous occasions, on a very close and personal level. Prison staff mock dying inmates' calls for help in shocking video. Well, it's not really shocking when you have insight to it, but I'm going to get through this, and then I'll tell you exactly why it is from inside knowledge that the staff acted in this manner. And, well, it's going to make sense, but it's not going to make sense. Just bear with me. Staff members at the Ottawa County Jail in Miami, Oklahoma, are shown both mocking and ignoring the calls for help from an inmate who would be found dead in his cell hours later. Authorities this week released surveillance footage taken from the jail on October 2015, when inmate Terrell Ellis Jr. died days after he turned himself in on an outstanding warrant for driving while under the influence. The incident happened in 2015. They've just now released the video. It's been going through the court process. As CBS News reports, the footage shows a nurse at the jail belittling Ellis after he complained that he was having trouble breathing and needed medical attention. The nurse said as she was walking by him and he's yelling out for help. Yes, I have watched the video. I cannot play it on YouTube, but this eloquently describes what the video shows, really. So the nurse walks by, he's yelling for help. I mean, repeatedly in the video for hours and hours and hours, he's yelling, help, 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 help. The nurse walks by, says, I'm sick and tired of effing dealing with your ass, she says in the video. Ain't a dang thing wrong with you, but she says the other D word. Other employees of the jail cell can be seen mocking Ellis's pleas as they walk by his cell. Yes, you can hear him saying, if you can't breathe, then how can you talk? One employee asked him. He was then 4 hours after the nurse had said, ain't a darn thing wrong with you, found dead within his cell. Now, how is it that inmates can be treated thusly and guards are conditioned to act that way? And the truth of the matter is, yes, the guards are conditioned to act in that manner. Why? Field trips. A lot of inmates have things that they call field trips. In order to break the monotony of jail, you fake an injury of some sort or a sickness of some sort, so that way you could at least, if nothing else, go to the nurse's office, but the end-all goal is to go on a field trip to the hospital. It happens so often that guards are conditioned to the point where they just don't believe you, unless there is literally some physical thing that they can look at and say, aha, there is something absolutely, totally wrong with you. Down to the point, even if you have broken all the bones in your feet, and this is a bit of personal truth for you, broken all the bones in your feet, and you wear those little sandals, and they still try to make you walk a very long distance to the medic. So, it's not that they don't care, it's that they have been conditioned. You see, it's an adversarial system. It's the inmates trying to get out at any way, shape, or form, and the guards trying to keep the inmates in. And yes, ideally, the guards should treat every case as if it was ideal, but remember, devil's advocate, there are multiple sides, and each side believes that they are correct. Each time an inmate leaves the jail, there is a heightened possibility of them escaping or getting escaped. It is very expensive to transport inmates to the hospital as well. There's a lot of paperwork involved. There's a lot of everything. So imagine out of 100 times a day that people are saying that they are sick, only 3 or 4 of them are actually valid. Well, after a while, you get conditioned to, well, the likelihood of this being something is absolutely astronomical in your brain. So then there comes a time when, there really does need to be action taken, but it's a horrible system, I know. It's a horrible system. It's what we got, and it's the best system that we've got. The remedy to that, training, and try to make it so that way there is accountability, that if an inmate is complaining against something, that there is paperwork that says you must report. If this inmate is complaining of something, you must report this to this person, who will report it to this person, and it must be looked into. I mean, I know it sucks, COs, corrections officers, and nurses who work within the prison system, and drivers, and security, and wardens, and everybody else involved. I know it sucks, but you have got to take that precaution, because how many of these have we seen? I mean, my God, inmates have been found on video literally dying of thirst in their cell. Inmates have been seen strapped down and left and died. We have seen repeated things like this. Inmates put in that chair. It's a punitive punishment. They're put in a chair that puts your body in a very odd position, and it's very hard to breathe. Inmates have died in there too. Regardless of which way you slice it, just because you are accused of a crime or even found guilty of a crime, you don't lose your right of being a human being, for God's sakes. And he turned himself in, and he was trying to turn his life around, and God, there we go. Again. Just wanted you guys to be aware of it and throw my 2 cents from personal knowledge in on it. There's always 2 sides to the story. It doesn't make the COs correct. They are absolutely wrong. I'm just explaining how it is that they get conditioned to think in that manner. And that's all. That's what I got. I will see you guys on the next one.